guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to Vlogmas, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite board games. I thought that years ago I made a video talking about my favorite board games, and either I filmed it and never put it up, or like something happened and I didn't do that. I'm thinking like 2017 or before. But I guess I haven't talked about my favorite board games before, which is a little bit alarming because it's something that I do a lot with friends, I would say, like when things are normal. And I have some friends that are like specifically almost like board game friends. So the fact that I haven't talked about games before is weird. So I think I have like 6 or 7 of my all-time favorites. I've obviously like played more than this, but these are my all-time favorites I will play over and over again. So let's get into it. My probably all-time favorite game, and the only one I actually have to show you right now because I recently got a copy of it again, is Trikirion. This is a game that I have not had in my possession for years because my ex and I had it, and as I call it, in the divorce, we were not married, but he got all the board games because he was the board game fan. Like, he asked for all of them, like they're his. I think I kept 2 that were specifically mine that I had asked for that I really liked, but those are in storage, so I can't show you those even though I do technically own them. Anyway, this is a game that has been out of stock and print for a while because of like publisher stuff. There was like Kickstarter shenanigans that happened. 2 companies had made it, and then now 1 company has the rights to it. So I think in March they're going to do a huge reprint. But one of my friends up in Madison, his local game shop had a copy that they probably found in the warehouse, like somewhere in the back covered in dust. So I ordered it and picked it up, and now I have it. This is a worker placement game in which you play competing illusionists in, I mean, I'm thinking it's like a Victorian era, but it's almost like a steampunky kind of setting. And it's worker placement, so each round you place yourself or your like apprentices or whoever you have in different parts of the town to either get materials, learn spells, like, you know, get money, whatever, and eventually the whole point is to get fame points. So you're eventually trying to put your spells on a like schedule, connect them in a certain way to get more points, and perform them on the ideal day and everything. This is all part of the mechanics I'm not going to get into, and that's how you get fame points and win. And it's just like a really cool theme. I really enjoy like themed games that really embody the theme and that it's like not just like a skin they put on it. And this also has an expansion in which you have like, and I haven't even played the expansion yet in the years that I've played it, but it's like a dark alley expansion, so you have like prophecies and different things that happen as well. So there's this like fantastical element in addition to the illusions. So it's a really fun time. I really enjoy it. It is probably my favorite game. Like, I mean, I'm talking about all my favorite games, but like this one ranks so highly that this is one of the only games that I had with my ex, and I was like, I need my own copy. I almost stooped to the level of like, I was gonna text him and be like, do you still have that and play it? But I was like, nope, it's not worth it. But this is so good. I'm so glad I finally have it again. Then a newer favorite, but again, probably one of my like top 3 games now, is Wingspan. This is a game that you describe it. I mean, a couple of these games are games that you would describe and you wouldn't necessarily think that they're super cool, but they are. One, this is like an award-winning game. It's beautiful. Like the art and everything is beautiful, but basically by the title you can tell Wingspan, it's a bird game. So you're basically trying to like, I think the whole premise is that you're almost like a curator or like a wildlife person that's like, you know, taking care of like birds or whatever. But that's not really like what you're doing in the game. You basically have different birds that you put in different parts of the like environment. You know, are they in the wetlands? Are they in the forest? All that kind of stuff. And they kind of stack to give you certain points and stuff. So it's almost like a deck builder, but like it's not in a deck, you're putting it on the actual board. And you have to like have certain resources to feed them, and they like will lay eggs and stuff. Again, I'm saying it and it sounds so juvenile, and it's not. Like it's beautiful, and there's different perks that you can get for like if you're trying to kind of get a certain type of bird. Like I typically will always choose the card somehow magically where I want the birds with like the large wingspans or like predator birds and stuff. So it's really cool. And then whoever has, what is it at the end? I'm forgetting what it ends up being. I think it's just like a point thing, like you rack up points. But it's so fun. And almost everyone has said that it's a great time. So if you're sitting here being like, that sounds weird, it's not. Most board games, in theory, when you like describe them, sound, like I said, juvenile or like a little ridiculous, and they're not when you get into them. So Wingspan is like chef's kiss, so beautiful. The art is stunning. They have bird facts on the card, so you like learn about the birds. Like it's just cool. I do like birds. So, and some of the birds have like fun things they do. I think like either the ravens or the crows like can find stuff for you. Like it's just a good time. It's just good. And if you like nature and you're into it, it's a good time. Then a favorite of mine for a while, again, one that I do own, but it's just in storage, is Splendor. Splendor is a great game for newbies because it's so easy to describe, because it almost feels like solitaire-esque. It's not quite solitaire, but it's a sort of like card, you know, collecting, deck building-y type thing, where basically it's like a Renaissance theme and you are trying to collect like gems, which are on the different cards, in order to buy higher cards to eventually get to, I think it's 15 points. And you also have these tokens that are almost like the gambling, like poker tokens, that you use to like trade for things too. So I think it's almost like a merchant type idea, but it's really easy to learn. There's not a ton of interaction in game with other people, so you're just kind of like doing your thing, and then you're not really like you're not really sure what everyone else is doing. I think technically if you were like a high level player, you could be paying attention to what other people are going for and screw them over, but I never find that really tends to happen. Everyone is like so focused in on like what they're trying to get to the higher tiers that it works pretty well. And again, it's a pretty like low stakes, easy to learn game. You can learn it in like a round, and yeah, it's a really great time. It's one that I like bringing to like board game nights and stuff because it's a very like good warm-up game, and it's just a lot of fun. Then we have Sentinels of the Multiverse. I am a big fan of cooperative games, and this is one of the, not the first cooperative game that I ever played, but one that's pretty high up there. And this is basically its own unique comic book type setting and characters. There's so many characters, they have so many expansions that are definitely based on like DC and Marvel tropes, but are their own unique characters with their own unique backstories. And you basically choose like an environment that you're playing in that affects everything, and a villain and like what their scheme is, and then everyone that's playing picks their hero. And it's a deck builder, so you're going through your character's deck and hoping to get different cards to stack, and it's just so much fun. And the villain has a certain amount of hit points and like tokens that you are dealing damage, and they're dealing damage to you, and the environment can deal damage to you or them, and there's like minions and stuff you have to take out, and it's just a lot of fun. There's another deck builder, I want to say it's called like Legendary or something, which I think is the Marvel version of this, but this Sentinels is my favorite because it's its own unique thing that's definitely based on archetypes. The character that I end up choosing always, which I'm forgetting what her name is right now, is a gun character, and she has two guns that if you get them they like stack really well. It's called Pride and Prejudice. Oh, it's so good. And like if you have both, like you can use both in a turn, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's cooperative, so you're all trying to beat the villain, you're not trying to like beat each other. So it's a really fun time. It can be kind of long, and also some of the villains are like super hard. Oh, and you can have a nemesis, so like if the villain is your character's nemesis, then you deal extra damage to them and they deal extra damage to you. It's just a great time. And you have like abilities that can affect the rest of the team. Like it really does feel like a video game, you know, comic book setting, and you know, like a game. It's so fun. One of the first games I ever played and has a special spot in my heart is Seven Wonders. This is a, is it a deck builder technically? I guess it would maybe be. I haven't played it in years, so my description is probably going to be like a little wonky, but it's like ancient times. All of the Seven Wonders are still around, and you're basically building up the Seven Wonders and your like city state to be the most like successful. I don't know if it ends up being like, I think it's just like a points system, but you can take a number of different routes to try to get the most points. You are competing with other people around you, so you have to like potentially build up your military if people are going military route, science, art, building up your wonder, all of these things. You have to have materials to do this, so there's multiple different like rounds and ages that you play through to like build everything up to hopefully get your like wonder built and all the points and stuff that you need. But this is just really fun. I think this is a game that a lot of people have played. It's been out for quite some time now, and it's just a game that I played the most when I first got into like adult war games, and it was like one of the only games that like I had, and it's just so fun. There's a lot of expansions now, and it's just really classic, especially if you're into like history and stuff. This is a good game for that. Then we have a game I recently played that I really enjoyed, and that's the Gallerist. This is the game that takes a while, but basically, like it says on the tin, you're a gallerist. You're an art gallerist that's trying to run your like art gallery and basically get the most money, I think is the point system at the end. But it's a worker placement kind of, so you can go and you can buy art art, you can recruit or like discover new artists, and then like you're their sponsor, and then you get their art for cheaper, and you can like you can sell your art, you can display your art, you can try to get people into your gallery. There's like a whole thing with that. It's a pretty complex system, but again, the theme is so on point. Like it really is like, oh, I feel like I'm doing this. Like I feel like I'm the gallerist. Like this is what I'm doing. And it's a really fun time. But last time I played, I think we played for like 3 or 4 hours. So, and I've only played it the once, but I would say it's a favorite because it's also like really visually pretty. They are also using art from artists that did contribute to the game. So that's cool. Like it just has that theme that is really good. Then we have, maybe, I think this might be in the top 3, Legacy. This is a game where you are, I think, in not quite French Revolution, French Renaissance, I'm not sure the exact setting, but basically you're trying to build a family tree. And you're going through like 3 generations, and you're like a noble, and you're trying to like build your family tree in your estate and stuff. So it starts out with like, I think technically it's supposed to be like you, but you like, you know, you're getting married, you have like these cards that are almost like Guess Who type cards, you know, like the people that you're marrying and who you are and who's in the family give certain like perks and stuff. And you can like get estates, you can like throw fundraisers or balls or galas or whatever, do like business ventures, things like that throughout the years. And you get bonuses for like having a lot of kids and all this stuff. And it's so fun. And so you're going through like 3 generations of this like family tree. And I think trying to get the most, I want to say like influence or something like that. Again, it's been years since I've played it because that's one of the games that I did not get when I went through the breakup. So it is a game that I would like to get again though, because it's so fun. Like I would always put on like harpsichord music when playing it. And it's just like a fun time, and the art on the cards is like fun and like just good. So again, a game that you're like, why would I want to be a French noble building a family tree? But believe me, it's amazing. Hey guys, Editing Sam here. I actually said the wrong game title for the next game because I mentioned a similar wine game that I actually haven't played, but I always see the box for the one that I mentioned, so I typically say that name instead of the correct name. So I will insert me saying the correct name. Apologies about that. Then we have another game that I've played recently, and it is a worker placement, and that is Viticulture. This is another game which the theme is really on point. I believe Viticulture and Wingspan are made by the same creators too, which is really cool. They just do the themes really well. But you're a vineyard owner, so you are going through different seasons, like I forget how many turns that you have, but each season you can kind of do different things, and the people that are playing with you, like there's only a certain amount of people that can be on like each station, so you have to like strategize pretty well. And you're, you know, planting fields, you're like tilling fields, you're getting certain buildings so that you can make wine, you are putting the wine in like the squishing buckets, I don't know what it's called, and then you're putting them in like your cellar, and you get certain points for like which kinds of wines, and you get different like wine orders and stuff, and you're trying to get people in that want certain things, people that are like visiting, and they can only visit in certain seasons. Like, it's really cool. It's a really cool game, and it's pretty fast moving, and I just really enjoy like the worker placement with a theme type games. Like, you'll notice like those are pretty prevalent on this list. Like, they're one thing that I like really play a lot. So I really enjoy this one, and it just has like a fun vibe. You know, you're a vineyard owner, you're doing wine stuff. Like, how fun! And my last favorite game is Red Dragon Inn. This is another game that's really easy for beginners and to just bring to like a party even if no one knows how to play board games. It's basically a D&D, it's not D&D, but like it's D&D type characters at a tavern post-adventure trying to outdrink and outgamble each other. It's so fun. You basically have your character and they have like different things that pop up. They have different cards that you can like use and different sort of like abilities, but you have money. So you're doing like gambling things. Each round you have to drink. They're like drinking games. Again, in game, you don't have to drink at the same time, although I'm sure many people do this as like a drinking game themselves. It's recommended to like play the character voices and stuff. And you have like your, I think it's called like your constitution. So you will like gain and lose points on there as like how drunk you get, and if you get too drunk you pass out, or if you lose all your money, like you're out of the game, and then whoever's left standing at the end wins. It's such a fun time, and there's like so many, you know, like cute, funny, like fantasy, like drinks and things, and so you have all your typical characters, and there's a bunch of expansions that have come out. I think like 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 at this point. I mean, I feel like when I last played, which was a couple of years ago, I mean, it's a game I own, I just haven't brought it to like an event lately. I think there was like 6 different expansions out. So there's like the rogues, the like magician type characters, sorcerers, like, you know, clerics, warrior type characters. Like you can play whatever type of character you really like within like D&D, and it's just like a really great time. And again, really easy for someone to learn. Like it's just like, do what the card tells you, move your little constitution marker the way that you need to based on the cards, like drink when we, you know, tell you, do the gambling, whatever. Like it's just a really good time. So I really love that game. Super fun, super easy for people that are new to games as well. So that is it. Those are my favorite board games of all time thus far in my life. So comment below, let me know your favorite board games. Let me know your favorite types of board games. Obviously I'm really big on like the deck builders and the worker placements, but let me know. Especially if you know some games that have like really good themes like this, let me know. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.